Hi, I'm Brenda Bailey for Pie Plate Patterns, and our tutorial today is going to show you one way you can make a square in a square. There are several ways to do it, but this is a fast and easy way, and you're going to get it right. First of all, you're going to need one large square, and you're going to need 4 small squares. Now, depending on how big you want your finished square to be, we're going to do a little math here. I want my finished square in a square to be 6 inches, and so I say, okay, this is 6, I add a ½ an inch, so this is 6.5. Then I need 4 small squares that are going to be half of the size of my finished block. And so my finished block will be 6 finished, and so this will be 3 plus a half, so these are 3.5. You can do that with any. If you do 4 finished, you'll have 1 4.5 and 4 2.5. So you just take half the finished size and add a ½ an inch for your small squares. Then you're going to take your small squares and you're going to draw a diagonal line on it, and you're going to, I use a mechanical pencil that gives me a good sharp line. Then if you want to, you can draw another line that's a ½ an inch away. And I'm going to show you what you can do with that later. Okay, the first thing you do is you take 2 of your squares and you put them on opposite sides of your large square and you stitch them on the line. Or if you want to, you can stitch just a thread width away towards the corner. I did that. I don't know if you can see. I kind of stitched just barely off the line towards the corner. So you get those sewn, and then you're going to trim this off at a ½ inch. And if you have this line here, the second line, then I'm going to sew on this one. I'm going to trim between it, and then that will give me a half square triangle that I can use for a later project. If you don't want to worry about that, you can trim off the middle one, flip it back and have the background and this one, or you can just trim both these off and fold this back. Fold it back and make sure it fits before you trim it off. Then when you get that pressed back, then you're going to do it on the other 2 sides. Now you can see that I've stitched on the line, and then I've stitched on the second line, and I'm going to fold this back and make sure it fits on my background pretty well. And then I'm going to cut in between the lines, and you can use your rotary cutter or you can use your scissors. And then I'm going to press this back, and there's my square in a square. Just that easy. Now I have 4 of these half square triangles that I can use for another project or another block. So there's a square in a square. A square in a square is a great block all by itself, or if you want to, you can applique something fun in the middle there if it's a little bit bigger block. Or it's a great block to use as an alternating block in your quilts. Or if you want to fussy cut something, you can do that. I've fussy cut this cute little duck, and then I've made this little square in a square with the duck in the middle. So that's another fun way you can do that. I have a couple of quilts to show you here that we've used the square in a square. This one right here is just some scraps that I had, some floral scraps, and then I just put different greens around each one and made this fun floral quilt. Then if you want to, you can just take this first part here and just do the opposite sides and fold it back and not do the other 2 sides. And this is what this makes. It makes kind of a star pattern here. If you can look, here's this green right here kind of makes a star around those pieces. So these are fun ways. This right here, this border here, is what we've cut off, and then we squared these up like these little ones here that I cut off, and then we just squared these up and used it for our border. So here's a couple of fun ideas you can use for a square in a square, and I hope you try it, and I hope that you have fun with it.